Hello. No, I have not banged my finger. This is a sign of love and is done by my girlfriend. No, it is not a sign of ownership. No, it's not. Okay, we have all our drawing utensils prepared. Here's my A4 paper. There's like a dirty paper when I'm gonna use my markers so it won't hit through. I have my cheap fineliner and I have my style file markers right here. I'm going to start with the fineliner though. And today we're drawing a product that is close and dear to my heart, namely this controller that I use on my PC quite often. And I also thought, let's draw something that is not based off of a picture, but something that I can move around and show it to you guys. So there are a couple of interesting shapes, like depending on which angle we decide to draw this from, you have some very interesting rounded organic shapes here. Then these reverse bevels, I think they're called, around the joysticks are also interesting. And here is also a couple of things that I don't like the shininess, how it comes around camera. So I'll probably do something like this. It's a relatively recognizable pose and it still shows some of the complexities. But let's just explore what we see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into a box. So you can see like this is the box that it fits in. And we have section line here that divides it into two. So let's just draw that out. All right, as you can see, it's a very basic shape, so I try to keep it as blocky as I can, just because I want to capture the basics. So as I said, I imagine a box around this with a section line in the middle, and I use all these information for measuring. So from the middle, I try to see. Okay, I also have an imaginary section line here that I didn't want to draw, and I usually just like putting one section line because I'm already quite liney, so I don't want to have too many lines. So I looking at the section line, I was looking at, let me push it higher. I was looking at this point here, how far is it from this edge here, and how far is it from my section line here. So I just estimated these 2 points. Then I did the same thing up here, like I was looking at this line. Where would it intersect this upper line? So I said, what is the distance from the section line to this corner edge here? It hits somewhere here. So that line comes here, and on the other side, because it's technically mirrored, it comes there. And I did the same thing with the rest of the lines where it hits here, like these 2 points. And also I was looking at these angles. So this sort of touches that, and this sort of touches this. And I was looking at this with the imaginary section line, which is somewhere here. Like this is sort of the middle line. And here the middle line is here. So let me just put this in so you guys can see. So I brought it down a distance so everything here is estimated, of course, but it's a relatively okay estimation. So I brought this a little bit lower. So this is how I usually measure out things, and from here on you can start. And I didn't do any rounding, so these are the only roundings that are did, which are technically incorrect. Doesn't really matter. And from here on, I would just go on with measuring, like these two that fit in a neat box, just a little bit above our section line. So it would go somewhere here, and then we would have one ellipse, 2 ellipse, and then these are, like you can almost say that this axis is parallel a little bit with this line here. So if I take this line, I take this axis, it would be somewhere there. So this is where my joystick would be, and on the other side, this is where my ABXY would be. Something like that. And now we can also do these cut-ins. Here I should have gone a little bit lower now, I see, since there were, or this comes a little bit higher and this can also come a little bit lower. That's where the Xbox controller comes. And then these are the two buttons sort of at the edges. Actually, I could push it a little bit further in. And that's a very rough sketch. So that's how I measure it out. And now you have to take all of this into 3D. This is the side view, so we're going to try and draw this now as well. Once again, let me, section line would be somewhere here, I think. Okay, so something like this. I feel like the joystick is a little bit behind our section line there, but it's not such a big problem. And also this should come a little bit lower, just because when this is sitting, like this is a little bit angled, so it should be something like that. Okay, so now I have relatively enough information. As I said, I want to draw this sort of angle. So I'm going to draw one out with the pen, and then we're going to switch to my markers just to be able to do it a little bit neater, not so scratchy like here. As always, I will start with a box, bounding box, and then from there we'll see how it fits. I try to replicate the same box, the imaginary box that this fits into, and we can see it's much longer than here, so I would have to adjust that. And I also think it is not as high as this one, but I feel as soon as I make it longer, the problem with it being high also disappears. You can also see already here why I do prefer to sketch also with markers, just because if you make mistakes, now I have a million lines here, and if you would present this to somebody, they would be very confused by all the lines. So you have to make sure to make your lines that you're drawing with much stronger. And I also need my construction lines, which is the middle line there. And now I'm also going to add this section line and build from here. So I follow everything I learned here and I apply it here.
I mean, we were just sitting back, you know, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days and all that. You know, tracking my roots, where I came from and where I'm going. But like I say, man, always said it. It's not about the destination. No. It's all about the journey. Ain't nothing changed but the weather. The dangling carrot that hang from the rear view. Your dreams in the past ain't nowhere near you. Backseat drivers got nothing but 2 cents. Shotgun riders too biased, they all liars. I should get an A for effort, I'm too tired, but I'm never giving up, that's why I'm kinda admired. Role model, like it or not, I gotta play it. Sugarcoat the rhyme sometimes, but still say it. Said I was quitting at 40 is just a fib, I'm still a kid.
All right, there we go. So this is good for learning, because here you can make your mistakes and yeah, learn from them. This is still too short here. So if I am correct, I need to make these handles a little bit shorter there. I have to make sure that there's a lot of space here. Like if I look at it, it almost looks like I didn't leave enough space just because I prolonged this out of the box, because it just didn't feel good what I was doing there. So I should have made it a little, because again, this was too short. So I have to make sure that I have enough space here. This has to be definitely longer. Like here, I had a mistake. I think I should make this a little bit like that, and maybe less angle here. So it's always good to do pre-sketches like this, because you quickly find these mistakes and you can start solving them. So now I'm going to sketch this out again with the markers, and I'm going to pay attention especially to the length of this one and the box in here, and also this distance. So those three distances I want to keep in mind. Let's see if I manage that. Don't forget to put your paper in between your other papers if you're a cheapskate like me, and if you don't want to buy expensive marker paper that won't allow you to hit through, and refill your markers. Some people like to take out this tip and just pour it in there. I like to leave the tip in there. I don't think there is a correct or an incorrect way of refilling your markers. One thing is that I like to do is to leave both ends open so that it can breathe through.
Off of my bib. You ever wanted something so bad that you could taste it? Cried over every opportunity wasted. Good and bad news, which one you want first? Either way you pick, the bad still gonna hurt you the worst. I never got to bask in the fruits of the labor, and I never got the cash from that dude from the label. I'm just thinking back. Can we go way back? Way back, way back. Can we go way back? In retrospect, I would've did it the same. In hindsight, I'm the only one to blame. I ain't picky, I'm just real specific. I want nothing less than terrific. I know y'all get it. I'm aggressive, so our style is clashing. Killer instinct, and I play with passion. I'd rather be hated for being one of the realest than get a lot of love for these overrated appearances. I can stand on skill alone, but I'm a package deal. I can write the whole song and rap for real. I got my head in the cloud with a pun intended. I don't need to see nobody, I don't want no visits. Introverted, I just flirt with the music. Small circles, how I choose it. Stay away from squares, they the one that look like a L7. I've been doing this since I was 11, and the shit gets real.
Okay, marker sketch is ready, but with quite a couple of mistakes that I tried to correct. And as I said, yeah, don't ever feel bad about making mistakes. You can always correct them. That's why we do these pre-sketches with either pencil, or in this case with a lighter marker. Now let's try and fix those mistakes and bring in the lines.
When I'm in the building, grown man flow, I ain't got time for the children. Now you can boo me, jump off, I'm winning. I still love you though, shout out to the women. Watch, you was cool, they was acting wild. Walk in, leave drunk, it was packed for aisle. Belligerent students, man, the shit got messy. Remind me of my first show I did at the Red Sea. I ain't had no DJ, just the tape deck. Opened up for Son of Star Child, I love that. Met this cat named Larry, he was with the Avengers. Showed me how to make moves and walk with the winners. Soon went to the pen, I never seen him again. But I did a couple shows with his friends. Lumberjack, brown clown, so-and-so, and do with the orange pants. 10 years later, now I'm rocking the orange pants. But they jabos though, you know, fresh to death, always and forever. Don't get it twisted, #1 listed, Nitro, with the nice flow, you know, it is. Take a picture, baby, it'll last longer. All in your mouth, yeah. In retrospect, I'm just thinking back to the time when it was all good.
All right, let me put it side to side. So here is our controller and here is our drum controller. A quick mistake that I made here was I did make these buttons a bit too small, so I had to make them bigger. So we have a bit of overlap here. And here we also have some extra lines because I just drew through it, but I don't think this is a problem. Definitely not comparable to this scribble work that I have here. Next step, I will just take it a little bit further, but I think this pretty much shows what where you can go. I did have a couple of fixes still here as well, trying to, maybe I came out of the boundaries of the box a little bit, but I came out here as well. So it's relatively symmetrical. What I think is missing is here, this wouldn't be this visible. So I cut off a little bit of this part, but I think it's fine. I think this conveys what a controller looks like. Now I see that I forgot these cutting lines here, which I don't know how much it adds or takes away, but let's just add them so we have them there. Now we have a little bit of thickness here that you can play with. There we go. So let me add some shading to this, and with that, I'll say goodbye and future editing Robert takes over. Thank you, past Robert, and thank you, dear viewers, for checking out this video. I feel I don't thank you enough for watching my videos, and I just hit 40k followers. Wow. Also, I get like 1,000 views per video, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine what it would look like to have 1,000 people watch me live or watch me in general while I draw. So yeah, thank you very much. You guys really liked the previous how to draw a power tool video and asked me to do more product sketching videos. So I decided to do one of these like more regularly, at least one a month or so. Anyways, I really hope you like this video, and more importantly, that you learned something from it. As always, I would love to hear from you in the comment section if you have any sort of questions, remarks, or suggestions for future videos. I was thinking, let's do something different for this video. Since I was drawing a controller here, let's see how many gamers we have in the audience. So if you are a gamer, it can be Xbox, PlayStation, or PC Master Race, hit that like button. And if you are not a gamer, hit that dislike button. Nintendo people, you can also go ahead and hit that dislike button. I'm curious what the like-dislike ratio will be on this video. And it'll also be funny to confuse the people who don't get all the way to this part of the video. Anyways, as always, you can follow me on Instagram for more drawing-related updates, support me via Gumroad or Coffee. All the links in the descriptions down below. And the most important thing, of course, is that you lovely folks have a great time, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.